YouTube tarot reader Lisa Lee has been found using bad language during her twice-weekly live streams. In a shocking turn of events, it has also been discovered that she will not tell you what you want to hear, only what you need to know. The internet is in collective shock that authenticity is alive and well in this corner of the YouTube meta space. Do not watch if you are easily offended.
Hello, everybody. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Beyond Authentic. I'm taking that off. I'm still having some sound issues. Now, this is really surprising because I had all this sorted this week. So I'm just going to try and see if anything I do without disrupting the stream incredibly is going to get this working again. It was literally working last night. There we go. So that is fine. Nope, no bonging sound. Am I on Bluetooth?
Bluetooth mode.
I am now on Bluetooth, so they should be absolutely 100% connected. Bluetooth connected. Anyway, good evening, everybody. This is Beyond Authentic. I am Lisa. We're going to be doing some tarot readings today. Thank you very much to everybody who joined us over on the members live. That is the reason why I'm slightly late, because we were doing some manifestation over there from the manifestation cards that come from Witch Caskets. So some of these ones. And I'm not going to tell you what we did because that is just for the members, but we kind of made one for everybody on the members. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Anyway, if you are new here, while I try and press all the buttons known to mankind to make this blooming speaker work, I don't know why it just says it's connected for the microphone. That is very strange to me. Anyhow, let's have a look. Sound. Nope, still not working. Blooming thing. Right. Okay. If it doesn't happen, if we can't make this happen today, then I'll just have to do it without the main sound working, if that makes sense. Right. I've just changed that. Is that making anything happen? No, of course not. Of course it's not, because it's a Sunday evening and I've just gone live. So of course it's not going to work. Why would it work? Why would you ever expect that to work, Lisa? Do you know what I mean? Why would that ever actually happen? Anyhow, the gremlins have got into the system again, and for once I don't mean the nibbling. But anyway, good evening, everybody. We are going to be doing some tarot readings here on this fine and dandy Sunday evening. Did that not even do anything then?
Aux in mode.
Right, aux in. You're plugged in with aux in, and it's still not working. Never mind. We're just going to have to do it without the sound then today. Again, I'm so sorry, everybody. But anyhow, we're going to be doing some tarot reading here on the channel. Now, first of all, I did mention the members only live. We go live at 6 p.m. every Sunday evening, so an hour ahead of this mainstream. Wherever you are in the world, I don't know what different time zones. I can never remember time zones. I'm rubbish. Partly because of my ADHD brain, and partly because, you know, as a poor person growing up, we never went on foreign holidays. So therefore, we never had to remember what different time codes were. Therefore, I never learned that. So that's just a little peek into my poor, impoverished youth. It wasn't. We just never went abroad. We had plenty of holidays in the UK, but never abroad. But anyhow, that is why I don't remember time codes. But an hour before this one starts, wherever you are in the world, that is when the members only starts. And you are more than welcome, if you'd like to come and join us. Come and join us up here. The button should be somewhere. I don't know where it is. But wherever that is, come and join us if you would like to help the membership. Join the membership. It helps the channel because it helps me cover the costs for running this. And also, it's a really lovely space. We just had a few of us on. I always offer tarot readings on the members only live. It's a good way of getting a reading when there's a lot less people on. And yeah, Oh, thank you, Judy. Last month, I did. You did a reading for me for the month of May. Very accurate so far. Thank you again. No problem, my darling. Absolutely no problem whatsoever. I am so glad that it's manifesting. See what I did there? See what I did there? I know. Right? I'm so glad that that is actually coming to fruition. Hopefully, in a positive way. So yeah, hopefully in a positive way. Anyhow, how does this channel work? What do we do here on this channel? Well, as I say, we do the tarot readings, and I do have to say that tarot is not for... No, tarot is for entertainment purposes only. That's what I'm trying to say. Please don't use a tarot reader in place of medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counseling advice. Tarot is... an amazing system, and tarot can give you some amazing insights, but I'm not a professional lawyer. I'm not a professional doctor. I am not going to say to you, yes, don't worry about, that bulge on your leg. I am sure it's fine. A, I can't see it. B, the cards won't tell me. And C, I don't want to get sued in case that bulge suddenly opens up and 500 million spiders come out of it or something. Do you know what I mean? Nightmare fuel. So that is what we don't do here. You've got to be 18 years of age or over to get a tarot reading on this channel. That's part of YouTube's restrictions. And because I don't want your mum, your dad, your parent, your grandparent, whoever it is, I do not want your caregiver coming to me and saying, you told so-and-so that this, that, and the other, and now they've quit school because of what you said. Not getting into all of that. So that's why you've got to be 18 years or over. And of course, please remember, do not dox yourself on the internet. Don't dox yourself. If you put personal information in the live chat, great, that's fine, that's up to you. But please remember, the live chat isn't just live for a bunch of friends on the interwebs. This can be seen for years and years and years and years and years and years afterwards. And also the way that the whole of the internet is going, eventually anybody that ever wants to employ you or do a credit check or whatever, they will be able to go back and see everything you've ever posted. So please don't dox yourself and keep yourself safe on the interwebs. Okay. Having said all of that, how do you actually get a reading on this channel? Well, there are two main ways. The first way is dead simple. You can send a super chat. Okay. Once you send a super chat, you are on the list. I bet that button's not going to work, is it? Nope. Imagine Chris Jericho, the wrestler, you just made the list. There you go. That's what you would have heard. So Bluetooth mode. Right. So anyhow,
connected.
Imagine that having just worked. But please do, if you send a super chat, if I've got one in already, if somebody sends one, say I open a round and two people send one in the same minute, I will read the super chats in the order they come in, but you will be guaranteed on that list. And I will try and make sure that we don't accept any super chats too close to the end of the stream so that everybody who sends one will get theirs read. If, however, you don't want to send a super chat or you can't, absolutely no problem at all. Just wait until I open up a free round. When I open up a free round, it's literally that. I will ask for anybody who wants a reading to put their reading into the live chat, starting with the word question. And then if there are 3 questions that come in, I'll pick one at random. If there's 2 questions, we toss the talisman, a bit like tossing a coin, but we toss the talisman to see who gets it. If there's only 1, it's automatically that person. If 7 people come in, then again, I will choose one at random. And the method I use is the mouse and the jog wheel and closing my eyes. So I know, right? Super technically advanced here, a bit like NASA with that robot that stopped talking to them. You know the one I mean? So a bit like that. It's that level of expertise where I just go, that one, just like we did when we were kids. So if all of that makes sense, then we are ready to go ahead. So then what I will say is the first tarot round is open. So if you would like, none of my buttons are going to work. If you would like a tarot reading, please do go ahead, pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question, and or send your question as a super chat. Make sure you put the word question at the front of your question so we can identify it. And as I say, the other way of doing it is to send a super chat. Either way, the round is now officially open. And so just in case you didn't understand me waffling on with my poor ADHD brain, then here is a quick recap. Yes, indeed. Let's have a look then. Lavina, you didn't put the word question in. Marie Rogers, I've got yours starred. Elisa, I've got yours starred. And go on, Lavina. I can't not do it. I'll put yours in for now. I'll put it into the list bit, and we'll see which one of them I select at random. So there we go. I've included you in, Lavina, sorry, even though technically you didn't put the word question in, and that is what we require. Never mind. Right, so I've got 3 in the little box I've got in front of me, 3 in the chat. So let's go ahead, and I'm going up and down with the jog wheel, and we're going to pick this one. Oh, it's Lavina. Look at that. That's good timing. How will things be by the end of this year between me and Aniket? His current thoughts for you. Well, first of all, I can't see at the end of the year, because the way I read, I try and maintain a focus for about the next 6 weeks to 2 months. So 6 to 8 weeks. The end of the year would be like more than 6 months away. So I don't read for people that far. And if any tarot reader ever says that they can see 6-7 months down the line, they might be able to see it in the broadest of broad strokes, but they won't be able to tell you any details. Okay, so if anybody does tell you that, it's bullshit. Unfortunately, it is bullshit. So then I'm gonna swap the camera over, and let's see. Let's get your reading going. And this is the first cab off the rank today. So then we're using the Fifth Spirit deck just because I absolutely adore this deck. Again, I was looking at a new deck that Patricia, one of the amazing moderators I have on this channel, sent me, called the Star Tarot. So eventually you'll start seeing that on the channel at some point. I've got to do a whole deck interview and everything with that one to make it make sense to me. But anyway, in the meantime, we are going to Wispy. I'm so sorry your music won't play today. I'm going to hit the button anyway, just because that's the energy exchange that Wispy needs. I'm just moving everything because I did knock everything over earlier. So there we go. So we're going to ring the bell, and we do that to cleanse the space. Bells are used in a lot of cultures to cleanse the space and cleanse the energy. So we use that one. And then I am asking Wispy, my darling, I know you can't hear your bells, but never mind. Wispy, Lavina would like to know how things will be in the next couple of months with Aniket, and what his thoughts are for Lavina. So let's have a look. We've had that card jump out just as I was asking Wispy. So if you don't know what Wispy is and think that I've gone slowly insane, well, the answer is not slowly, but it happens to all of us eventually. Wispy is my air elemental dragon. He is a servitor, egregore, or tulpa. If you want to find out exactly what he is, go down into the live chat, into the description box, sorry. Just before there's a page break, there is a link to the podcast that me and Neil did a few months ago now, talking about my dragons. Okay, so that explains exactly what Wispy is. And normally he's joined with a wind chime type sound effect, but unfortunately we don't have that today. Anyway, so then Wispy, once we've done the doodah, the shuffling, and once we get a card that pops, that then is where we stop shuffling and do your drop, Lavina. So we did have a card that dropped. This is your clarifying or modifying card. Now what this means is we look at all the other cards in the spread through this one. Okay, so the Page of Swords is about difficult lessons, challenges and things that you do not want to learn, my darling. So let's delve a little bit deeper. So the page is an innocent energy. The swords, that is the difficult energy, if you like. That is the trouble and strife, the challenges, the obstacles, all of that. And this card is literally, you can see here, although the person is carrying a sword, it also looks like they're walking on one, the way their shadow has fallen. They do have a book, which normally would mean these are lessons that you need to learn, lessons that you want to learn, you know, bettering yourself, studying, all of that. This being reversed is a bit of a worry, Lavina, because it's saying that there are lessons here that perhaps you do not want to learn, and experiences that perhaps are not, that you're not going to be able to learn from, which is sad. But as an overall, thank you, Holland. I've just seen the message. As an overall, yeah, it basically is talking about things that you don't want to face. Now then, we've done the cut, so all we've got to do is your drop. So where you are, what you need to know, and the possible future, the opportunity to come. So where you are, my darling, the 8 of Cups. Cups is your emotional suit. What you need to know, the Knight of Cups, right? Okay. And so that'll be looking at Aniket, and what the outcome is, the 6 of Wands. So then, my darling, let's have a look all through the lens of the Page of Swords. So where you are right now, we've got the 8 of Cups. This is not the best of cards. It's not horrendous, but it's very much talking about there being a leak from the roof. The roof is leaking. However, you've got all the pots and that you're putting down. However, it's not from the rain, because you can see outside it is not raining. So something else is happening, right? And you can see here that when you look outside, this path is completely dry. Everything is completely lovely, walking out to the full moon. This is about taking the decisions and making the step to move forward with your happiness, right? So it's saying that that is where you are. You need to be able to move forward with your happiness, because at the moment, it doesn't feel very fulfilling where you are with Aniket. In the what you need to know, this links in with this. So we've got the Knight of Cups. What you need to know in terms of Aniket's feelings, the Knight of Cups. Knights are the people in the deck that jump in with both feet before thinking through. They don't look over the fence. They just completely jump in. And that is that. They are unable or unwilling to think long term. They don't think about the reactions. They don't think about the consequences. They just jump for it. And Cups is all about emotions. So this is saying that I think whatever Aniket is doing, he's not really thinking about how it affects you. He's not really thinking about where you are in your life. It's like he just jumps in, jumps out. Whether that means that he's not faithful, I guess, or whether that means that he's, you know, maybe a little bit difficult to pin down in terms of where you are with a relationship. It doesn't feel particularly positive this night. Even though it's upright, it still is very much coming off as that sort of teenage, childlike energy, rather than it being something really nice and positive. Do you know what I mean? So it feels like that rebelliousness, that teenage energy. You can't tell me what to do. All of that sort of vibe. And then we have the potential future, the potential outcome. We've got the 6 of Wands. And this is interesting because Wands is talking about your sense of self-esteem, your confidence, how you see yourself, all of these lovely things. And Wands are about like other people's opinions, other people coming around, the community. And 6s are more about how people view you than how you really are, if that makes sense. So it's sort of saying that with this wreath, it's saying that there is perhaps a victory coming, but it sort of feels a little bit hollow. So what I would say to that is that, look, in the next couple of months, it may well be that Aniket does something positive, right? It may well be that he'll show his thoughts or make himself known, that he's interested in you in whatever way. Excuse me. But there's still this smokiness about it. There's still this cloud around it of maybe not everything is going to be what it seems. Because again, coming off this Knight of Cups, sometimes the knights can be incredibly charming, and they can literally turn up on their horse with their suit of armor. Look at me, aren't I a wonderful knight? Look at this. I've got a lovely shiny suit of armor, lovely shiny horse bridle and everything. And that can be really charming, and it can be really sort of exactly what you think you want. But this page is telling me that yes, he might be a knight in shining armor, but maybe this isn't your knight in shining armor, because this page is saying that there are lessons here that you do not want to learn. And the way this feels, it feels like Aniket is perhaps playing both ends against the middle, if that makes sense. Maybe there's something going on here. This very much feels like eventually you are going to have to make a decision about how you want your life to be, and whether or not you're going to move forward to that 9 of Cups, which is that really nice, happy, sort of lovely, warm, comforting place, or whether you're going to stay here with the 8 in a house that is leaking. Hopefully that makes some sense, my darling. I would say I don't think Aniket is going to be declaring his undying love for you, but I think there is enough of a carrot for him to still dangle that will keep you interested, if that makes sense. It feels like he'll do just enough for you to stick around. Even if other people are telling you he's not good for you, he's no good for you, it feels like he'll do just enough for you to stick around, and hopefully that is enough for you. I worry, because this is ending on your confidence, I worry about how that might affect how you feel, because the 6 is midway through that deck, and it's more about how other people see the situation than it is how you see it. So what I would say, Lavina, is don't get hung up on proving other people wrong. Okay, let me put it that way. So if there's a situation where somebody's telling you that Aniket's no good for you, that he's just stringing you along, all of this, don't accept that behavior, or accept just a little bit more than that in terms of proving people wrong. That, see, he's not stripping me along because he's taking me out for dinner tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? Don't accept the crumbs just because other people are telling you you're not even going to get that. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense, my darling. But thank you ever so much for your question, and I wish you the very, very best. As I say, it just feels like there's something here that Aniket isn't fully engaging with, if that makes sense. Yeah, hopefully that helps, my darling. Hopefully that helps. But yeah, thank you ever so much for your question. And yeah, that is it. Thank you very much for being here tonight. Right then, let me just pop these back in the deck. And again, once again, I'm sorry that the cards aren't bringing up happy ever after, roses and wonderful, sunshine and rainbows. I can only give you the answers that the cards are giving me. So if hopefully that makes some sense. Right then, it is that time. Let's have a look at the live chat. Here we go. Oh, thank you so much for the reading. You're grateful. No worries, my darling. Listen, you are worth more than any man will ever realize. Okay, you are worth more than any man will ever realize. It's all down to you as to what you choose to accept for your life and what is right for you. Okay, if all Aniket is ever able to offer you is enough I don't know what keeps happening. My internet is absolutely saying it's on full everything. But once again, those bloody gremlins. So then, hopefully, everybody, hopefully the readings make a little bit of sense to everyone. But yeah, let's go ahead and what's Patricia put? All the best, Lavina. Take it a day at a time. Do not expect too much, but enjoy what you have. Exactly, my darling. Exactly. Listen, if you are, how can I put it? A bit like this. If you're hungry, right, and somebody comes along and offers you, I don't know, a banana, right? They offer you a banana and a bottle of water. You might think, oh, I'm not really keen on bananas. Do you have a kiwi fruit or some pineapple, or what about a nice sandwich? At the end of the day, if you are hungry, you might accept stuff, and then I've lost me train of thought. If you're hungry, a banana and a bottle of water will do for now. Do you know what I mean? It might not be what you want right now. It might not be what is your ideal meal, but if it's enough for right now, then enjoy that banana and that bottle of water right now. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Does that make sense? If it's not enough for right now, then you don't have to put up with it. Do you know what I'm saying? Hopefully that makes sense, my darling. Hopefully that makes sense. Is it? What's happening, Patricia? I don't know what you mean, my darling. I do not know what you mean. But yes. Oh, what about the gremlins with the internet? Maybe, I don't know. Patricia just sent me a message on WhatsApp, and I don't understand what it means. Anyway, let's go ahead. Let's have a look at the chat. We've got 8 people watching, so if you would like a tarot reading, please do go ahead and do one of the followings. To get a free reading, all you need to do is wait until I open a round, which I'm about to do, and then put your question in, starting with the word question. If, however, you want to guarantee that your reading is up next, then please do go ahead and send it as a super chat. Either way, the round is now officially open. So if you send us a super chat, you do get a slightly longer reading. But feel free either way, either question followed by your question in the live chat, or send it through as a super chat. Either way, go ahead and do one of those now if you want a reading. So then let's have a look at the chat. My screen is freezing all the time at the moment. I'm so sorry. It's freezing because the blooming internet keeps dropping out. I don't know why. I've got a super chat in from Bryn. Good evening, Bryn. Hello, my darling. Did I do your reading? Not yet. It's literally just popped up in the live. So I will do that next. Ed's here. Good evening, Ed. You'll be with us properly in about half an hour. Okay, my darling. No worries at all. So then I do have a super chat in from Bryn MRC. So I'm going to go to, I'm going to do that one just about now. So then, okay, my darling. So then let's have a look. You want to know what's coming up for the Libra and yourself? Let's have a look in the tarot. So as always, we're going to cleanse the space. I actually think it might be getting to the point where I need to cleanse the cloth, There's so much dust and detritus from doing various different sort of spell working-y type things here that I do think it is time that maybe the cloth got a bit of a wash. This is such a lovely cloth. I don't want to wash it in case it makes it go all funny. Do you know what I mean? I don't. Anywho, let's have a look. So, Wispy, Bryn MRC would like to know what is coming up for the Libra and Bryn. What is coming up for the Libra and Bryn? Let me have a look. Let me have a look. Here we go. Oh. And once again, apologies if everybody was expecting Wispy's wind chime sounds. That doesn't count, Wispy. I know you're upset that your wind chimes aren't working, but it's just because the computer isn't wanting to make the sound today. However, that drop of the cards, because there were so many that dropped, that isn't considered to be a card drop. So that isn't a, what's it called? A clarifying or modifying card. So let me just have a look. Okay, thank you. Right. So we're going to do one more shop round. 2, 3 shuffs and 4 shuffs. So you get all the shuffs. I think that's where the word shuffle comes from, because you get all the shuffs. So shuff all. Just making it up as I go along. I'm just amusing myself because I've got no sound board tonight. So, you know, I'm just amusing myself as we go. So then what is coming up for the Libra and yourself? Let's have a look. Wispy, we're doing the inverted triangle. So where you are right now, Bryn? Ooh, a bit stuck, maybe. A bit of, it's stable, but not very exciting. What you need to know. Ooh, Queen of Wands reversed. And the 5 of Wands coming up in the potential outcome. So then, Wispy, what is linking the 4 of Pentacles to the Queen of Wands? The Fool. Okay. What is linking the Queen of Wands to the 5? The 4 reversed. Oh, right. Okay. And linking the Fool to the 4 is the Emperor reversed. Right, my darling. Right then, Bryn. So I tell you what, I'm going to hit a 6-second thing because my mouth is dry and I need to talk. Ready? 6 seconds. I'll be back. Oh, thank you. Do excuse me. I meant to do it as I was doing the other thing, but I was trying to make the sound work. Anywho, where you are right now, the 4 of Pentacles. This is really interesting. My immediate response to this card coming up was that it feels like time has stopped, and I don't know where I got that from. For a brief second, my brain said all the clocks have stopped, so there's nothing moving. I don't know what that means, if that means something to yourself. So I don't know whether you and the Libran are kind of stuck in a bit of a rut, or stuck not going anywhere, neither moving forward nor back. 4s for me are about stability. Okay, so when they're upright, it's stable. When it's reversed, it's stagnant, but I'll come to that. So this is literally saying that where you are, it feels like everything is ticking over. Nothing major. Everything's kind of just as it was. There's nothing exciting. There's nothing kind of rocking the boat, but equally, you know, you haven't strapped a huge engine to the back of the boat and you're doing the bouncing on the waves thing. Do you know what I mean? It's like everything's just moving along quite slowly at its own pace. I do think because this is work, career, finances, it also represents, with the Pentacles, it also represents growth. And for some reason, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of growth between you and the Libra in here right now. Do you know what I mean? It feels, again, like that's a little bit stagnant. It feels like, I don't know if you've ever had some plants in your garden where, like, some of them start sprouting and jumping up and they're growing massively. And, you know, you've got flowers that are budding and flowers coming into bloom. And then you've got other plants that are just sat there stubbornly. And you're like, you know, it's spring. You can actually grow now. and they just sit there, and you then get them, and then once the summer hits and it's a proper bright warm sun, then those plants kind of come back to life and respond. It's sort of a little bit like that. It feels like you're just waiting for the sun to get warm enough for things to start happening again. So yeah, just be a bit aware of that, because it kind of, I don't think stuck in a rut is that, but I think it's almost there. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's not a lot of change happening. What you need to know, we've got the Queen of Wands reversed. Now, I don't know, Bryn, whether this represents you or the Libran, but the Queen of Wands is somebody who is in absolute control of her confidence. This is somebody who is incredibly confident, incredibly strong in mind, in spirit, totally able to take on challenges. You can see here, this person's dressed up almost like Tina Turner, but they're on stage, they're singing. They're at the 9 Lives ballroom, which I think is interesting because you've got a pussycat image, but they're there. They are absolutely living their best life, performing, but this is reversed. And that is saying that there is something here where your own interests, your own confidence, your self-esteem is being restricted. And I don't know whether that's because of the Libran or whether that is something that you are choosing to do, kind of to, you know, keep your spark down a little bit. But it doesn't feel very, very true life, if that makes sense. It doesn't feel like there's an awful lot sparking joy. Again, it's that it just comes back to this idea. It feels like you're limiting yourself for the Libran. Does that make sense? Hopefully it makes sense, but hopefully you're not doing it too much. And then in the opportunity to come, we've got the 5 of Wands. Again, this is reversed. So again, it feels like there is maybe some confidence issues happening, because the 5 is about, you can see there are it's a bit of an icky moment happening where you've got these different choices that you can go by, but none of them is the best choice. Like, don't pick up a flaming torch and shove it in a hornet's nest. Not going to end well. Don't hit it with a fork. Don't hit it with a bit of 2x4 with a nail through it. Don't hit it with a baseball bat. Don't even just attack it with a branch that you've put in the fire. None of this is going to end well. Okay. And this is really coming back and saying, look, there's things to work through in terms of confidence, and there are things to work through that without working through them, things are not going to end well. Does that make sense? So it's literally saying, look, that there are issues here that perhaps the two of you need to maybe talk about, or maybe, you know, find a way forward through, because at the moment, or find a different way forward through, because at the moment the way you're headed is going to upset the hornet's nest, and I don't think that's something that you particularly want to do. I'm moving the Emperor just there for a second. Now, linking the 4 of Pentacles where you are to what you need to know, we've got the Fool. Now, the Fool doesn't mean you're being foolish. It literally is talking about starting a journey. The whole of the major arcana is arguably the Fool's journey. Sees the Fool making a moves and going through the major arcana to actually get to the world and learning as we go. Now, the Fool itself is not a negative card. It's not a positive card. It's literally the 0 card. So it's what you make of it. It's literally saying that this journey can go a multitude of ways. It's literally down to you. Now, where this comes in interesting is because this card is saying that you're stuck. Like, okay, stable, but it kind of feels erring on the side of stuck. And it's linking that feeling of maybe there not being a massive spark to this feeling of having to rein yourself and not having this confidence, not having this ability to express yourself in the way that maybe you want. And this is linking those two. So it's saying that actually maybe there is a journey here. Maybe there is something that you need to learn in order to put yourself forward. And, you know, if that is putting on a red sequin frock and standing on stage and belting out some Whitney Houston numbers, you do it, my darling. You absolutely do it. Linking the Fool, or rather not linking the Fool, but alongside the Fool, linking the Queen of Wands out the other side with this potential future with lots and lots of stuff. You've got the Four of Wands. So again, we're linking wands with wands. This is telling me that your confidence is at an all-time low at the moment. It feels like you're really struggling to be your truest truth and live your truest truth and to be your truest self. It really does feel like there is something holding you back, because the Four of Wands, I said that one was stable. This is stale or stagnant, and it's in the wands area. So this is saying that you need to start this journey to move forward, because something here is blocking everything. It is reining your most expressive self. It's reining it back in and trying to minimize it. Now, again, I don't know whether this is the Libran. I don't know whether he's doing this, whether that's something that is coming from him, or whether this is like you almost preempting something being said, so you dim your light. Do you know what I mean? And then right at the bottom, the root of these issues, again, only one upright, well, two upright cards, but only one major card in this is upright. The other major card is reversed. Now the Emperor, if they were this way up, the Emperor is talking about being a blacksmith, an architect, not blacksmith, yeah, an architect, the builder, designing the way that things go, planning, long-term planning, overall control over not just the people on the deck, but the overall empire. Really, really nuts and bolts worked out, by the book, by the numbers, confident, assured, able to take that leadership role. But this is reversed. And this is linking the Fool's journey with this idea of this really stuck, stagnant energy coming in your confidence zone. And when we put that on top, it's saying that perhaps this Emperor figure, and again, if the Libran matches that feel, if that Libran is kind of in a bit of control, they're kind of really, maybe they are keeping your light dimmed. Maybe they are, not responding in the ways that you would like. It really does feel like it feels like the root of this blockage is the Emperor. Okay, look, if we take this, and also look, mirror imaging, we've got the Queen of Wands and the Emperor. So if this is representing you, we take you slightly out of the question and we go past to present. So in the past there was a blockage. It was kind of not a blockage, sorry. In the past there was, everything was stable, it was ticking over, nothing major, but tick tock. There's this journey that comes in and you start to go through it, and you meet the Emperor. The Emperor comes in and is quite demanding or quite controlling, and from the Emperor, from that connection, we go to the Four of Wands. So things are now becoming stuck and stale and stagnant, and we go then to the Five of Wands, really uncomfortable decisions and uncomfortable choices moving forward. So this really doesn't feel like it's the most positive situation to be in, my darling. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of support and a lot of, give and take here. And again, I can only read the cards that are coming up, but this definitely feels like something has to be addressed fairly soon. Otherwise, this pattern from stable but still relatively positive going across to where we are here with the Five doesn't feel very beneficial to you. It might be beneficial for the Libran, I don't know, but it doesn't feel like this is going to work particularly well for you, my darling. And so again, this isn't set in stone. Forewarned is forearmed. And maybe there is something, as you're going through this Fool's journey, maybe there is something that you can say or something that you can change with your relationship with the Emperor to maybe, do a diversion for this potential route. I hope that helps, my darling. I really, really do. But that is going to be your reading for today. And once again, thank you very much for the $5 or $4.99 donation. And I hope, my darling, I hope that helps. And yes, hello Jay. How are you, my darling? I hope you are well. You're holding yourself back, right? Okay. Why? You're afraid of falling in too deep. You learn to swim that way. That's the way you learn to swim. If you fall so deep and so fast, then you either swim or you drown, don't you? And for most people, we learn to swim. But yeah, just be careful you're not being overshadowed is basically what I'm saying. You're holding yourself back. You feel stuck in your own fear. It's got nothing to do with him, but it's very much, you know, a bit stuck. He always responds the way you would like. That's good then. That is good. That is very good. But yeah, hopefully, my darling, hopefully, I think there is a need for a conversation. If it is you that's holding yourself back, then you need to basically say, look, either I'm so intimidated by your smile because it's such a lovely smile that I need you to, you know, I need to be my true self. And I've been hiding the fact that, I don't know, I've been hiding the fact that I really don't like cats and you've got 3 cats and actually I'm allergic, but I've been hiding that and now I'm living my truth or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? There's something here I think that you need to have a conversation about. But with that, my darling, I'm going to say thank you very much for your question. And I've just realized I'm pressing completely the wrong buttons to make that question go away. Good evening, Jay. How are you, my darling nibbling? I hope you are well. You missed Uncle Rufus's birthday last week. I know, it's fine. It's fine. I did get your text. I didn't even realize it was on my phone, but I saw it today. Well, we've been at the boot sale today, so I will message you after this, and I won't forget. If I do forget, message me. Let's have a look. Dramatic friends are a lot of work. This is very true. Bearing in mind, Holland is my friend, so Holland had to put up with my dramatics. Not really, though, is it, Holland? Not really. I've not been that dramatic. Anyway, we've got a few people here today, so let's go ahead. I'm very blurry on screen. I don't know why. My internet is saying I'm fully connected on the Ethernet. Everything is super connected. I've got a backup of the Wi-Fi is connected to right. If I turn the Wi-Fi off, so I am now just connected with the Ethernet. That hopefully is working. I don't know what is going on again. It seems to be, I mean, to be fair, StreamYard is only in 720, not 1080 or whatever it is anyway, which is something I'm looking into. But it's like £50 a month to get that. It's super expensive. So yeah, that might have to wait on the manifestation list. But I don't understand why it should be more blurred than usual. And there's nothing I can change on the settings. But anyway, let's just crack on. We're just going to crack on, everybody. Before I do, though, I need to do a quick thank you and also give a quick shout out to one of my friends, as I just said. Holland from Blue Chalice is here as a moderator, but I've known Holland for absolutely years, and they don't ask me to do this. They don't pay me. They don't give me free whatevers. This is just to say, look, if you are looking for some witchy stuff over the summer months, if you are looking for some pagan, some Celtic inspired, some druidic inspired craft and arty things, everything is handmade, then you can check out this shop on Etsy, right? 100%. I was about to say 150%, but that's not a thing. 100% beyond authentic approved. Blue Chalice is a small business making crafty creations for the witchy community, from jewellery to wall hangings, witch bells to altar tiles. Why not have a look at bluechalice.etsy.com. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Good evening, Ed. Properly. Hello, my darling. I hope you are well. You wouldn't label me as dramatic. Just a person who's very good at talking. Okay. I'll accept that. I talk on live streams here on the internet for 5 hours a week, sometimes 6. Do you know what I mean? I think I would say I do talk a lot. So yes. Drama makes the world go around, the world go around, the world go around. You're right. You're right. It does. It does make the world go round. And it'll be so boring without a bit of drama. I completely agree. But just a drop. Just a drop. Do you know what I mean? Just a drop. It's like me and spicy things. Just a little of spice. That's all I need. Right, let's go ahead and open up another round. If you are here, would like a free reading, please do pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. I will then choose one of those at random. If, however, you want to guarantee your reading is next, the easy way to do that is to send it as a super chat. That comes directly through to myself, and I will read for you next. If we get more than one super chat, I'll go through them in the order they came in. Hopefully that all makes sense. If it doesn't, here's a quick handy dandy recap. I just wiped the camera, right? Because I was thinking, what if I've been saying for ages it's the internet, because it is the internet, it's telling me I've got an unstable connection. But what if after all these months, it's actually a smudge on the camera? So I cleaned the camera. Nope, absolutely not. Absolutely not a smudge, unfortunately. So it's just what we've got to play with tonight. Right then, let me have a look. Marie Rogers, I've got your question in. Elisa, I've got your question in. It looks like we've only got 2. So when we get 2 questions, we all know what time it is. Well, it's 8 o'clock, but we know what time it is when there are 2 questions in. Yes, indeed, it is a talisman toss. So what is a talisman toss? Well, a talisman toss is literally a bit like a coin toss, but with a magical talisman. So you can tell these are magical talismans. There we go. I've just chosen one. Ooh, we've got the air today. You can tell they're magical because they are hexagonal or whatever it is, and octagonal. Yeah, octagonal. And you can tell because they've got the Witch Casket logo because they come from Witch Casket. This is the air talisman. Okay. So what we always do when we have 2 questions in, we have Marie Rogers, yours came in first, and Elisa, yours came in second. So Marie Rogers, you will be the sigil. So you are the image of air. Okay. So that is the elemental sign for air. And Elisa, you will be the writing. So you are the Witch Casket logo and the word air. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. And we do what we always do is I place it in the middle. I'm going to place my arm here so it doesn't run off the table, and move my glasses. There we go. And we always do it sigil side up, and we just toss the talisman. Oh, and there you go. It's come up. Sigil side up. So there we go. So Marie Rogers, your question is the one that I'm going to read for. Elisa, don't go anywhere because I'll be opening up another round after this from Marie. Okay, so then Marie, my darling, let's have a look before we go any further. We cleanse the space. We bring in Wispy. Good evening again, Wispy. Again, I'm sorry your wind chime sound effect isn't working. However, Marie Rogers wants to know, how will the next few months be for you? Well, I can only normally read for the next 2 months. So we'll do what we can in the next 2 months. Okay, Wispy? So 2 months, we're looking at, what would that take us to? Middle of June, middle of July, almost towards the 3rd week of July. So getting on to proper hot weather. If you're in the northern hemisphere, if you're in the southern hemisphere, that's when it's coldest. I know, right? It's so confusing. But if you're here in the northern hemisphere like me, then by the time we get to the middle and late July, that's when it's at its absolute hottest. So yes, let's have a look. So then what is coming up for Marie? Here we go. There's no flippy card, so there's no qualifying or modifying card for you today, my darling. And let's have a look. So we'll do the standard where you are. Oh, okay. What you need to know and what is coming up, what all the opportunity is to come. Right, my darling. The very short, too long, didn't read answer is the next couple of months are going to be a little bit of a trial and a little bit of a challenge. Reason I'm saying that, first card, where you are right now, we have the Tower. Now, the thing about the Tower, I'm just trying to find it on my thing. It's there we go. There we go. The Tower is a great card, but it does represent things, the rug being pulled from under you, things being revealed. Basically, what you thought was one way is actually not the case. And this is where you are right now. So I don't know whether this is already happening in your life, whether this is already manifesting. But the Tower here, as you can see, this house is completely on fire. It's been hit by lightning. The person's got out, and I don't know if you can see just there, look, but it almost looks like they've got a pussycat that jumped out or something, or a doggo, or there's something there. I'm not quite sure what it is, but you can see that the person has got out of the fire and are just watching their house burn. Now, in tarot, this basically relates to the idea that the things you've built up around you may not be as stable as you thought. So it may well be that it could represent the bricks and mortar around you, but generally speaking with the tarot, it's very much around, you know, the conceptualized sort of elements. But this really is saying that, look, if the rug's been pulled out from under your feet, if things are suddenly revealed that you've been lied to, or things are not the way that you thought they were, don't worry. It's going to feel like your house is burning down around your ears, but don't worry. You've got everything safe out of the house and you've got insurance, and it will be a hassle. It will be a pain, but there, you know, at some point you'll get it. Everything will come right again. So it's like somebody's told you, this house is never, will never, can never be struck by lightning. Absolutely not. The fact that it's in a major area where storms pass through every other day, and the fact that we've got a great big huge metal roof, you know, never mind. That's all good. That's all fine. It's never been struck by lightning and never will. And then it gets struck by lightning. And then you're like, right, you kind of told me it was up and now you're telling me it's down, and you told me the grass was blue and now it turns out it's green. So what the hell is going on? I do think there are challenges. I do think this is going to be a big period of having the truth revealed, if that makes sense, as we go along the next couple of months, because I don't think this is a one-off incident. I think this is a trigger point to kind of reveal everything else that's happening, because in the what you need to know, we've got the Six of Swords. Now, swords is your trouble and strife. It's your challenge, your obstacles, all of that. And swords is it's the life lessons. And generally speaking, we learn the life lessons through the hard way. We very rarely learn the life lessons, you know, the way that we're the best possible way. A bit like, right, if you are in a country where it is illegal to drink alcohol, and you are told by your parents, don't go out and get completely drunk when you're 15. A, it's illegal. B, you're going to be poorly. You may well go ahead and ignore that advice and meet your friends at the park, have a couple of beers, a bottle of wine, some cider, whatever it is, and then find yourself incredibly drunk, waking up the next day with the mother of all hangovers, right? I'm not saying this happened to me, but maybe that is a thing. And what that happens then is you've then learned that lesson, right? You've learned that lesson. Actually, maybe I shouldn't go out and get storming drunk in a park with my friends at 15. But you have to learn it the hard way. Because if somebody just said to you, that cup of tea is hot, be careful. Okay, well, I don't understand what hot cup of tea is because I've never felt it, because I've always avoided it until it cooled right down. Sometimes you have to kind of go, oh yeah, oh, that's proper hot, that. Not going to do that. So again, this is one of those cards which is talking about having lessons to learn and challenges ahead, and we learn through those challenges. The thing about the 6 is that you're taking those challenges with you on your journey. It's kind of like you haven't learned the lessons yet. So this Tower is potentially saying, look, we're revealing the truth in a very dramatic way. It's that moment where you go, you know, they pull the tablecloth on the table and it keeps all the plates on it. This is you pulling that tablecloth away, and all of the plates, all the glasses, all the cutlery goes flying everywhere, right? It's that moment of, and this is the continuation of that. This is saying that there are some lessons here that you need to learn. It's really important to learn them. You haven't learned them yet for some reason, but this is the time. So it feels like the next couple of months are your school time, basically, and it leads to the opportunity to come in the future is the Fool. Now, please don't think about this card as being a negative. The Fool is not negative. The Fool is not saying you're silly or foolish or wrong or anything like that. The Fool is simply starting a journey. And this is reverse. So it's not a journey you want to start, if that makes sense. It's not like you're saying, do you know what? Tomorrow morning, I am going to walk 500 miles. I'm going to start a journey where I'm going to walk 500 miles for charity around ... around the circumference of my living room, and you're going to do like 500 laps or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? It's not something that you're wanting to do. This type of journey is a journey of discovery. It's a journey of finding out the truths. It's a journey of meeting parts of your inner self, but it's not something that everybody is always comfortable with. Do you know what I mean? And this is, again, because it's the Fool, you can see it's number 0. It's neither positive nor negative. It doesn't have any connotations. It is literally about starting a journey and a journey of discovery. The fact that it's reversed is saying that I think this next couple of months is going to be about this overall journey, right? So rugs being pulled from under you, bringing in some challenges that you need to face, but maybe you haven't faced yet. Maybe you've taken them with you from place to place to place. Maybe there's some healing work to do, which is going to bring you to the Fool, which is the start of that journey. The thing about the Fool's journey in the tarot deck, it always leads throughout all the ups and downs, all the different cards, through the Death card, the Devil card, all of the negative cards, all the positive cards. It always ends up at the World, which is that final moment of understanding, that moment of awakening, that moment of true connection with the universe. And then you step through that World card and start the journey all over again in a different way. And that is what is on the cards for you in the next couple of months. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I think it will be a challenge, because the Swords cards are always challenges. Dealing with the Tower is always a challenge, but it does feel like if you can embrace the change and embrace the journey, then the Fool this journey won't feel as negative, and you'll then be able to embrace everything you learn over the next coming months. And with that, my darling Marie, I hope that helps. It's going to be a time of discovery. Not all discoveries are, pots of undiscovered gold in a field. Some of them are a lot more negative. But again, every single time we go through this journey, we learn more and we know more about ourselves. And so it's always a positive journey when you look back at it in hindsight. Hopefully that helps, my darling, but that is your reading for today. Right then, let me have a quick little look at what's going on in that there live chat, because I don't have the live chat open while I'm reading. Let me have a look. Your parents gave you alcohol at 15. It was wise though, as it didn't become forbidden. That's absolutely true. Absolutely true. Oh, is it playing up again? I'm so sorry if this is being a dick. The internet is not great today. You tried wine for the first time in France. I know. I bet you were like, I'm so European. Look at me. I'm having. Oh, I've had some wine. I'm so drunk. Do you know what I mean? Was that what you were doing, or were you like knocking it back? Knocking it back. Good evening, Hugh Priestess. Thank you very much for your super sticker. Were you intending that to be a super chat? If so, just pop your question down in the comment section. Hugh Priestess, is that right? Question. I've turned into Scooby-Doo. How? I can't do that. That's a horrible voice, Lisa. Don't do that. Don't do your Scooby-Doo voice. Right, let me just have a wee look down here. I'm just going to try and find out what the super sticker is, because I can't see from. Oh yeah, it's very. Oh, there isn't a super sticker. Hang on. I don't know where it's gone. I can't see it. Oh, 1 second. Let me entertain you. Does it come up that way? Why doesn't it show up? It doesn't show up. No, it's not showing up at all. But thank you very much for the super sticker. Also, I've just seen just how blurry I am on the doodah. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. High Priestess retracted it. Okay, my darling, not a problem. Ed, it wasn't a problem that time. You weren't asked, didn't touch alcohol again till you were 19. That's really cool. It's a bit like, you know the stories when somebody, and these again, I don't know if it ever happened. It feels like it shouldn't happen, but sometimes when people are like, my granddad caught me smoking and made me a whole packet of Baked in Hedges to show that I'd never go back to it. Sometimes I think it's a bit extreme. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit extreme. Like, okay. Or when people say, my dad caught me smoking and made me eat a whole packet. A whole packet of cigarettes. You have to eat the cigarettes. Ugh. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit strange. It's a little bit strange. But I don't have kids, so I've never found one of my kids smoking or drinking, so I've never seen that. Hello, Dolly. Good evening. Hello, Dolly. What is next for Shihata and I? Okay, my darling, I will get to your question in a second. Yeah, I will get to your question in just a second, my darling. No problem, Marie. Listen, learning, it's always worth it, right? Learning lessons in life is always worth it in the long run. When you're going through and learning those lessons, however, it can feel like a right pain in the arse. But in the long run, it's always better that we learn those lessons about ourselves, about our situations, about the people that we are around. So hopefully, my darling, it won't be too hard a lesson to learn, but just stay open-minded, stay positive. Come and visit us every Sunday, Tuesday at 7 p.m. UK time. You want to get the plug in. So yeah, come and visit us if you want to. Whatever it is, my darling, that you are learning, I wish you nothing but the very, very best of luck with it. And again, thank you for your question. Right then, Wispy, it's time for another reading. Hello, Dolly has sent in a super chat. So first things first, I'm changing the camera over. There we go. And I'm going to have a wee look at the which I'm not. I'm going to have a look at the cards. That's what I'm trying to say. There we go. Cleanse the space. I'm playing Whisper's music, even though it's not playing on the screen, speakers, or anything. There we go. And so, Wispy, Hello Dolly would like to know what is next for Shihata and Hello Dolly. Let's have a look. Okay, I'll look at for you. So then, here we go. So, as a super chat question, you do get yourself a longer reading, and also, as I say, you guarantee next. So, if anybody does want a reading out there, if you want to know why Hello Dolly skipped to the front, literally because they sent a super chat. So, hang on in there. After I've done this with Hello Dolly, I will have a look, and it will then be time to open up another free round. So then, what is next for yourself and Shihata? Hopefully I'm saying that right, Shihata. So let's have a look. So, tell you what, I'm going to do a classic horseshoe. We'll do a classic horseshoe. That's 7 cards, just because for some reason the horseshoe jumped in my head as soon as I was thinking what spread to do. So this is a standard spread that a lot of tarot readers do. It's one of my standard go-to spreads if I was reading for you in person. Excuse me. So then let's have a look. So in the past, this is going to be the past between you and Shihata. We've got the Two of Pentacles reversed. So twos are about couples coming together, and Pentacles is about career, work, finances. So it could be that you met. Oh, and study. So it could be that you met while studying, or you connected whilst at work, something like that. Or it could be that there is a financial connection between the two of you. It is reversed, so it does feel as if there is some negativity there, or that the current state of that relationship between the two of you maybe isn't at its best point, if that makes sense. Maybe this isn't the happiest the two of you have ever been. Again, Pentacles is a really interesting one because it also can relate to the amount of work, effort you put in. So it could be that there is some, that it feels that you put a lot of work in, but it hasn't really paid off. I don't know. In the present, though, we've got the 5 of Cups reversed. Cups is your emotional suit, okay? So this is about romance and friendship and how you feel. A, it's reversed, and B, it's upright. It's a really iffy card, because what the 5 of Cups is, by the way, anytime you see water in a tarot deck, it represents emotions. Okay, so Cups is the elemental symbol. It connects with oceans, with emotions. Sorry, oceans and emotions. You see, they connect. But the 5, even when it's upright, it's still a bit wibbly, because it's saying, look, you've got these 5 vessels here. We'll call them cups, but you've got a empty soda can, smashed bottle, and a cup, a mug that is empty. And then on the other side, we've got a full glass of water, a cup of tea maybe. And so you look at it and you think, oh, well, that's a bit rubbish. I've got 2 drinks, and these 3 drinks are all broken and smashed and empty. What rubbish is that? But actually, that is full. That is full. And the only reason this is empty is because you probably drunk it. But the cup is not damaged in any way. So you do have 3 vessels upright, and actually, or 3 vessels that are solid. So actually, what it would be saying this way round is look to the positive. Look to there's nothing I can do, Patricia. It's because of the interwebs. But it's saying look to the positives. Look to the fact that, even when things go wrong, there are still upsides to things. That is what it's referring to. But when it's reversed, it's saying that I don't think you can see the positives. I don't think it's something that you are aware of. And maybe with this negativity coming in here in the past, maybe it's a bit much. and maybe the emotions that you are feeling at the moment might be a bit to see the positives out the other side of it, if that makes sense. In the influence position, sorry, my brain just completely forgot what the word was. In the influence position, it's talking about the things that influence you. Now, this could be a positive influence, okay? So it could be that something is making you want to do something, or making you want to, you know, achieve something in a positive way. The influence is kind of nudging you in a direction. It could be that the influence is making you run away from that. You know what I mean? I had a card come up in a reading once, and we had a father figure card, and the person said, "Well, my dad left us when I was a kid. I don't know anything about my dad." And I said, "But did that affect you?" "Oh yeah." So that is why the cards come up there, because it's that influence. Your influence is justice. Okay, so it's feeling like there is something here. Justice can either be like you want justice for something that's been done and you want to right the wrong, or it can even relate to marriage. Okay, I know we often talk about the devil card being related to marriage because it's talking about contracts that bind, but the justice card can also be related to marriage and stroke divorce, because you've got that legal element to it. And yes, justice tends to be more on the side of you've hurt me, so I want revenge type thing, but it can also relate to that idea of contracts and long-term planning, legally tying everything down so that everything is locked in place for that long-term future. So again, that influence card coming in, again, it could be divorce if that's what's going on here as well. In the challenge, we've got the 9 of Cups. This is the obstacle for you. This is the challenge. The 9 of Cups is all about feeling all of the emotion. Okay, this is all of the love, all of the happiness, all of everything. But this coming up as a challenge is telling me that maybe if things aren't entirely right, if things aren't going great, but you still have that and that feeling in your pit of your stomach, that feeling of joy or love or whatever it is, that, you know, when you see this person, it makes you do that. That then is something for you to maybe look at moving away from. If this is the story about a couple separating or things not being right, maybe this feeling, every time you look at them, you feel a certain way. Maybe this is something that you need to take a step back from. Maybe this is in the past, if that makes sense. Even for the challenge to be such strong emotions, it's kind of saying that is something you need to try and find a way to move beyond, if that makes sense. So maybe those emotions are so strong and you're wanting to, separate, or you're wanting to go your way, but actually every time you look at them, your heart melts again. I don't know, but it's interesting that it's come up as a challenge. The way other people see you, we have the Knight of Cups. Now, this is interesting because this could be you, this could be Shahata. It's saying that the way that other people around you are viewing the situation. Cups, again, is your emotional suit. Okay, we've had these come up. Cups is about love, romance, friendship, all of that. The Knight, those are the people in the deck that act first and think later. The Knights are the ones that go rushing in. In this case, you can see the person's actually wearing some roller boots or roller skates, and they've got a boom box, drinking a drink, not really paying any attention to where they're going. Oop, there's a stone in the road. Down we go, crashing over, arse over tip. So what they are seeing is that somebody is making really rash decisions, not thinking things through, not working things out, but somebody, either yourself or Shahata, is basically just acting on instinct. Okay, now that might mean that the relationship is based on the jiggy sort of bedroom type stuff. It could be that relationship is based on the deep emotion, even though it might not be the right relationship for you. But people are looking on from the outside and basically seeing it as being almost like teenage energy, if that makes sense. There's this element of when you're a teenager and you fall in love for the first time, whether that's with somebody in a boy band, whether that's somebody on the telly, you've got that big old crush, and you know that one day you are going to be Harry Styles' best partner, right? You are going to be the one that tames Harry Styles. Obviously, as you grow a bit older, most of us step out of that. But again, that teenage, that rush of feeling it. You know you are meant to be together, and it's that sort of vibe that the teenager energy has here. The advice, we've got the judgment card reversed. So judgment is often seen as the angel calling the past souls, the dead souls, to heaven to stand judgment for their lives. You know, that idea of being sort of judged on all your deeds. And you can see here, upright is quite a standard image. You've got the bugler, we've got the scroll that says judgment on it, and we've got the souls reaching up to a higher place. However, it's reversed, and this is saying stop judging. Either you need to stop judging yourself or stop judging Shikata. Either way, sorry, it was so rude. Either way, this judgment feels very misplaced. Okay, does that make sense? It feels very much like this judgment is happening, and it doesn't have to. It's about maybe judging people for all of the wrong reasons. And actually, in the advice position, it's saying, look, just let people be their self, right? My other half of this expression says that when people show you their true self, that's all they're ever going to be. And whether that's a positive or a negative, once people show you who they are, that is who they are. You might not ever be able to change that, right? You might never be able to change that. So all you do is accept them and move on, or not accept them and move on. You can't change them. And this is saying that, look, don't judge others, just let other people be. And then finally, your outcome card, we've got the 7 of Swords. Now, this is saying that there are some difficult decisions ahead for you. And not just because we've got the swords, which is the challenge, the obstacle, the hurdle card or suit. This is because it's the 7. It's talking about really hard choices and tough choices to make. And you could go this way, but then that, and you could go that way, but then this, and you could go that way, but I'm not sure. And it's about all of that. So it kind of feels like, this being here, it kind of feels like you and Shahata have a lot of choices to make, a lot of difficulties to maybe work through from past conversations, arguments, disagreements we've got here. But also, for me, the most interesting card here is the challenge card, being the 9 of Cups. Okay? Because sometimes when we love somebody this much, when we give our heart to somebody entirely, I always say the 9 is full, the 10 is overflowing. So this is absolute, the pinnacle of healthy love. When you've got that for someone, when they disappoint or when they don't, match up with what your expectation is, that can be incredibly tough and that can be incredibly challenging. And I'm wondering if that is what is here in this case, my darling. But that is going to be your reading. Hello, Dolly. I hope it helps. Once again, I don't feel that this is necessarily the answers that you want, but as it says at the top of the screen, I'm looking for the guidance the cards give me, and I always say it's the guidance that you need. These are the answers you need, not necessarily the ones that you want to hear. But I hope that helps, my darling. I really do, and thank you ever so much for your question, and thank you for your donation. Right then, so mods, how are we doing with the sound? Because if the sound is as dodgy as the visuals are, then I think we might have to call this a night tonight on the live stream. I don't want to end. I love doing tarot. I love being here with everybody, and I absolutely adore the community You all know that. But if the sound is dodgy and the visual is dodgy, then it's not going to help anybody, is it? Do you know what I mean? It's just going to cause some issues. So what do you think, mods? I'm asking because I'm really hoping that we're still streaming, because for the last couple of minutes it's been flashing. The internet situation is a bit unstable, and I'm noticing that we haven't had any comments in during that entire reading from mods or from anybody else. The sound is intermittent. It's bearable. Card camera is better than a normal camera. Really? Shouldn't be. Normal camera is the better camera. The video is blurry, but it's moving. Right. Okay. I'll tell you what, hang on. I've got it on my screen. Oh, God. I've got it on my screen because it's just popped up. I mean, I know normally we're a little bit blurry on the streams compared to some channels, but my God, that is bad. I tell you what, I am going to call it. I'm going to call it. So unfortunately, everybody, that is going to be the last reading for today. The internet keeps telling me that it's dropping out. And the sound has feedback coming over. Right, yeah. In that case, I'm going to say thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you very much to the mods. Oh, Loving Life. You can do Loving Life. Bearing in mind the quality on this stream is pretty shocking. Loving Life, what I would say, my darling, is you've got a choice, my darling. Either I can read for you when it's like this, which is pretty shocking, or I can read for you on Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. UK time, when I'm going to fiddle around with all the settings and try and make this blooming internet work properly again. So it's entirely up to you, Loving Life. If you want me to do a reading, I can do it, but if the sound is cutting out and the visuals are cutting out, then I can't guarantee it. Okay? You're saying let's do it. Okay, my darling. Well, this will be the last reading for tonight then. Let me pop this in the on the screen. There we go. So this will be the last reading tonight. Let me, oh gosh, hang on. I'm going to swap the doodahs over, and we'll just go to that one. There we go. Right then. So, Loving Life. This will be the last reading tonight. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's go for it, Loving Life. This will be the last reading tonight, everybody. Apologies for the stream quality. There's nothing I can do about it, but hopefully this is a little bit clearer and less choppy on the card cam. So hopefully this works a little bit better. Right then. So, Loving Life, as always, we are going to cleanse the area. And I'm going to bring in Wispy. So then, let's have a look. As always, so we want a general career reading, please, Wispy, for Loving Life. A general career reading. Okay, let's look at that. I'm just going to ask you one question. What field is your career in? Because what I don't want to do, Loving Life, is see a card that could be about, I don't know, it could be about community, right? And my brain might say, oh, you're a teacher, and go off on that bloody off on that tangent, when actually it turns out you're a lawyer or something. Do you know what I mean? Oh, clinical research. Thank you very much. Right, I'm going to jump off of that screen, so I'm now just on the question screen, so I can't see anything in the live chat now. So if you comment, if you comment anything in the live chat, I won't be able to pick it up until the end of this question. So then, E. There we go. There we go. So we'll do your cut. And again, as always, don't forget, if you were here in person, you'd be the one cutting the cards. Come on. Are you going to drop? Oh, they were unsure. The cards were not sure then. Right then, Wispy. So what we are going to do is we're going to do another horseshoe. We're going to do another horseshoe. Or should we? Yeah, no, I think we'll do a horseshoe. Or do we do... No, we do a horseshoe. Let's not second guess ourselves today. Here we go. Past, present, influence, the obstacle. Now, this card has just popped up, right? Do not in any way, shape or form feel worried about this card. The devil card does not mean Satan, Old Nick, Lucifer, you know, Beelzebub, that one, you know, red-faced figure and all in red with a tail and the point. No, it's not about that. It's about something completely different. They call it the devil because of what it represents, right? It isn't about Old Nick, old scratchy Satan or anything like that. Okay, so just bear that in mind. I know it's a scary card, a bit like the death card. It does not mean what it says on the tin. I will get to it. The way that other people view you or the situation, some advice, and the outcome. Okay. You've got three major arcana cards. So the major arcana cards, the moon, the devil, and the hermit, those are the ones that I often call the big shouty cards, the news headline cards. They're the ones that come up a lot of times in movies and in cinema, which is movies, and on telly when they talk about the tarot. Okay, so these are the ones that often pop up. The others are the ones that fill in the details. So in the past, we've got the Ace of Wands reversed in the past. Now, this is telling me that I think work-wise, I think it's taken you a bit of time to maybe find your niche, because the Ace of Wands is talking about a new start, a new beginning, a new project. This is reversed, so it's telling me that maybe there's been a few new starts, a few new projects before you found what actually works. And the thing about wands for me is all about confidence, self-esteem, all of that. And sometimes it does take a little bit of time for us to get that confidence to actually say, this is what I want to do, and this is where I want to head. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes even if you know the field that you want to go into, being able to get into it or being able to get into that area of study, sometimes it takes a while for us to discover that element of what we want to do, if that makes sense. So the aces are all about new starts, new projects, new beginnings, and I love that energy is here in the fairly recent past. But this can also mean there is a slight flip side on this loving life, which can sometimes mean that you were forced to start over. Okay, so that could be that you, I don't know, lost a job, or you know, you were on a uni course and suddenly discovered you wanted to be a crime CSI, whatever that is, one of those CSI people, and then you go to a thing, you go to a reenactment of a murder scene, and you go, oh my God, there's so much blood and this smell is awful. I don't want to do this anymore. Do you know what I mean? I actually know a story of somebody who wanted to be a dentist, didn't realize that dentistry involves blood. They don't like blood. So literally we're almost through, we're already on the course at uni and we're going through their first year when they realized it would mean dealing with blood, and then had to back out and went and did something completely different because they just hadn't put the two things together. So it could be something like that. Okay. The only reason that story's jumped into my head is saying it could be that you had to do like a bit of a rejig halfway through. Hang on, I've got a video where we go for the moon is this one. So in the present, you've got the moon. And for me, that's talking about nasal gazing, or about navel gazing. So it's talking about spending a bit of time sort of meditating, cogitating, things like that. It's talking about being able to make decisions and make connections that are as important to your spiritual self as they are to, you know, your bank balance or your love life or whatever else it is. It's talking about connecting in a deeper way, and it's also about perhaps finding your place, if that makes sense, because the moon here, this person is in the middle of a deep dark foresty glen, but you can see it just so happens that where they are, there is a row of trees or 2 rows of trees, creating kind of like a clear space in the middle that on a particular full moon shines in this area and lights up. Are these sprites? Are these little glowworm bugs things, glow bugs? What are they? Who knows? From this perspective, though, it feels like this person knows that this space is here, this sort of metaphysical, this meditation space, this spiritual space. And it's saying in this position, which is the present, it's literally saying that I think you found your space. So again, it feels like there might have been 1 or 2 redirections or reroutes, diversions along the path, but it does feel now that you found what you want to be doing and you found what is connecting, not just a job, but you found something that is actually goes deeper with you. Now, in the influence, we've got the 7 of Cups. Cups is all about emotions, okay? And so normally this is dealing with love, friendship, all of that sort of thing. The fact that it's dealing with emotions here, and it's come up in your influence, and the fact that it's reversed, I think that there was almost do you know what I want to say? I want to say there was like family pressure, or somebody put pressure on you to go down a particular route. So it's almost like, you know, there's great granddad was a lawyer, and granddad was a lawyer, and dad was a lawyer. So you're expecting to go into law, and actually you're like, do you know what? Don't really want to do that. But making those choices about what you do want to do is kind of, you know, those choices are tough, and there's no right win in that instance. Does that make sense? Because it kind of feels, and again, this is in the influence, so it's saying that it may be that your future within the family or by your parents or whoever was supposedly planned out, and you didn't want to do that, and there's no win in that situation. Do you know what I mean? It's like if everybody expects you, say if everybody expects you to go off at the age of 25, for instance, and open your own law firm or work with a law firm. By the time you're 35, you have your own law firm and you're employing. If you decide, actually, I don't think law is right for me, I want to be a nurse, that's perfectly fine for you, but there is no way your family, with all of the generations of lawyers, will sit there and go, okay, go be a nurse. They'll be like, but what about all this? Do you know what I mean? So it kind of feels that the influence here, whether it's what delayed your choice and this restart, or whether it's because it felt like pressure being put on you, it feels like the influence here is from, I would say, definitely friends and family, like close network around you. And that influence, it's not that it's a negative or a positive, it's just that helped you or didn't help you, but it made you make your decision a lot firmer. And that is where the challenge card comes in, the obstacle position here with the devil. Now, again, a lot of decks depict the devil like this, as old Satan, old Nick, and it really winds me up when they do, because the devil should be a lot more like this, where who is the puppet master? Who's pulling the strings? The devil's in the details. What do we not know? What have we not picked up on? You can see here, this person is drinking some wine. This one is smoking. So it's talking about vices. It's talking about be careful of temptation. Be careful where that leads you. This puppet master image is talking about, you know, be careful of the people that influence you. It could be friends, it could be family, it could be lovers, who try and nudge you for their own reasons. And this is one of those cards, when it comes up in the challenge, it's absolutely not saying that the devil is right here and is challenging you. It's not. But what it's saying is that sometimes we have to go through those trials and those tough times to realize what we don't want. So sometimes you have to be, you have to go through a period of maybe drinking a bit too much to realize, oh, maybe if I carry on down that road, I'll have a problem. Or maybe you realize, actually getting up in the morning and smoking 25 cigarettes before lunchtime, probably not the best healthy for you. But this card is talking about those addictions. It's talking about, the slippery slopes, all of that. It's that temptation element that you've got to overcome. And again, the devil could be, sorry, I just almost headbutted the microphone then. The devil could be about contracts and actually getting down to the minutiae of a situation, or it could be your own foibles, if you like, your own weaknesses in life. For me, it's food. For other people, it'll be alcohol or cigarettes or drugs or whatever it is, sex. A lot of different things can be people's easy route to a slip and slide. For me, it's food. So again, I'm not saying that is for you, but this is just saying be careful. This is an obstacle that you might need to overcome if you haven't already done it. Okay, particularly if you've got the type of job where people go out after work together or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Just be careful, and always check the fine print on everything. How other people see you, we've got the 10 of Cups. Now, earlier on, I was talking about the 9 being when something is full and 10 being is when it's overflowing. And this is the prime example of that. You can see here that each of the vessels, the cups, the jars, the glasses, they're all overflowing with water. As I just pour some water on my desk yet again. I've got such a bad habit of spilling drinks. It's ridiculous. But the way other people see you is, I think they see you as either, right, too emotional or not emotional at all. It's like it's like they either see you as one end of the spectrum or the other, because the way the 10 of Cups comes up, it is literally you are overflowing with emotions, making emotional decisions, leading with your heart, ruling your head. But because this is reversed, it could literally be saying that exact opposite, that some people may see you as being quite cold and calculating and making decisions that are right for you without necessarily considering the other people around you. Does that make sense? So you just need to be aware of that. Again, this feels like that cognitive dissonance thing where, you can express both too much emotion and no emotion almost at the exact same time, depending on who you're around. Do you know what I mean? So it could be that with some people, you're overflowing with emotion about certain situations, whether that's anger or whether it's, oh, I really love what I do. You're ebullient, you're flowing with lots and lots and lots of excitement and pride about what you're doing. Or for other people, yeah, I passed that course and that's where I'm headed, because for other people it might not be appropriate to have that reaction. The advice, we've got the 4 of Cups reversed. Now this, I think, is a warning. Cups, again, emotion. 4s are about stability when they're upright. This is reversed, and it's about that energy becoming stagnant. So I would read this. There's so many emotion cards here. Well, there's 3, but there's of the 4 cards that aren't majors, 3 of them are dealing with emotions. So it would be so easy to allow yourself to kind of get bored or not be very excited about what you do, or to just generally kind of it turn into a trudge, if you like. And this is saying, look, be careful that stability doesn't become stagnancy, that just because you're in a particular job or your job is going a particular way, don't get complacent. There we go. That's what it is. Don't get complacent, because you need to have that drive, that spark, that emotional connection with what you're doing, no matter what the job is. I think you said it was something to do with clinical research. Well, it may be you're researching a cure for cancer, in which case that's big, important stuff. It may be that you are researching, I don't know, the 3 best types of grass to grow in a clay field, a clay-based soil, in which case that might not be earth-shattering, saving billions of lives. But for people that are wanting a nice lawn in a particular area, and you've got different varieties of grass seed to go through, for that, it might be really important. Do you know what I mean? So it's not about necessarily getting the plaudits for what you do. It's about staying focused and not being complacent about what you are doing. The outcome card is interesting, right? I'm not going to lie. It's interesting. You've got the Hermit reversed. Now, the Hermit is a lovely card of going in, out to find yourself, develop your inner self, all of that. Find the wisdom, find the answers. You can see in the standard depiction, the lantern is a physical lantern, whereas here it's ethereal. So the lantern represents knowledge and wisdom. So it's representing shining a light into dark places and seeing what's there. And it's very much about your own self, your own psyche, shining that light into yourself and discovering who you really are and what you really believe in, who you really, who your authentic self is. The one thing I would say, because this sounds like a fabulous ending, doesn't it? Like, yay, you're going to live a lovely, happy life, lots of work, don't get bogged down, but, and then you discover all the things about yourself. But this is reversed. I think this is almost saying there's a little bit of a danger almost. Excuse me, I'm just gonna take a swig of water. Bear with. There we go. Sorry about that. I know a lot of people that watch have ADHD or are neurospicy, and a lot of neurospicy folk can't stand mouth noises, myself included, or somebody swallowing drinks and things. That's why I always either mute the mic or turn it off or move it away. So the Hermit, when it's reversed, I think this is maybe questioning the need to go outside of the mainstream or outside of kind of the standard. You know what I mean? Because it's almost saying, look, don't separate yourself from maybe colleagues or from, the work environment. Don't kind of put yourself out there on a quest to go and discover, those elements and that wisdom, because actually you may find more about yourself by staying and by interacting with people. Do you know what I mean? So it's almost saying the opposite. You don't have to go on this wild, finding yourself on a journey around India and China and Tibet and all of these lovely places and the Amazon. You don't have to go and do all of that to find out what's really important to you and who you are and who you choose to be and how you live your life. Because actually you can do all of that discovery where you are with the people around you. Does that make sense? Also, when it comes to work, because I know that you're looking for a particular career advice, this is also saying that you don't have to be a solo artist, right? You don't have to just work on your own projects and things like that. You can be part of a team. And maybe this is a little bit about getting into your own head sometimes and getting caught up in that. And maybe it's okay to ask for advice and to be around other people that might think the same as you or might think very, very different to you, but to have those conversations and to gain that wisdom and that knowledge through those interactions. Maybe separating yourself or being away from people isn't the best move for you. Overall, I think it's talking about a career that looks to be quite positive. I would say be very careful of details in contracts. Be very careful of details and temptations. Come and work for us because, you know, we'll offer you this XYZ, whereas actually everybody else that's working there got that plus all of this other stuff and you didn't. So be careful around contracts. Be careful around, you know, separating yourself too much, getting too much, you know, into your head. But also on the flip side, it really does feel like the reason you've got to where you are in your career, the reason you've chosen the path is because you did initially have that navel gazing, looking within type moment. So it's fine, but don't do it so much that it separates you from everyone else and leaves you as an outsider, because that isn't going to benefit anybody. And with that, my darling loving life, I hope that helps. Thank you ever so much for your question. And yeah, I really do hope that helps. But anyway, thank you for your question. And I'm going to come back onto the doodah, onto the live chat, and so that I can actually finish up. Right then. So let me change camera. There we go. So far so good. Clinical research was your answer. Sophie, my darling, I saw this pop up. Unfortunately, there isn't time to do this now. And also, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, this has been running since before I started that last reading. So there is, I cannot do any more readings tonight, my darling. So what I would say is if you want to come back on Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. UK time, I will make sure that your question is the first one on Tuesday evening. Okay. I unfortunately can't do anything about the reading now because with a 7-card reading, it does take, you know, sort of 15-20 minutes to do. And yeah, as I say, Loving Life was that reading had started before yours came in. Thank you, Loving Life. You said true. You understand. That's good. You're on a new study. It's very difficult, and you'll take the advice of the hermit and start collaborating. Absolutely, my darling. Collaboration in a study setting that's what sparks ideas. So you might be, I don't know, you might be going down a particular route, and you get to a point and you just can't find a solution. But having a discussion with somebody else, they might say, oh, it's a bit like a waterfall. And suddenly your brain goes, maybe a waterfall, maybe not a waterfall. Maybe it's the mist at a waterfall. Myth. Well, maybe it doesn't have to go this way. Maybe it can be atomized and I don't know what you study. And I don't know science, but you know what I mean? It's like sometimes you'll have a conversation and that will spark an idea that is completely out of your normal sort of way of thinking and is done in such a way that you go, oh, and it's like that eureka moment. And I'm not saying get in a bath with lots of people at work, because I mean, that's probably not appropriate in the workplace. Although if they're cute, who knows? It's one way to get an A, you know what I mean? But yeah, absolutely, my dad, you get it. I know. Well, thank you ever so much for your question, and thank you ever so much for your donation, and thank you for being here today. As I say, Sophie Kang, I hope that that's okay for you, my darling. Come back and join us on Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. UK time. But it is now, here in the UK, is 9 p.m., which is when it is time for me to put away my tarot cards and to go and actually get some dinner. Yes, I eat dinner at 9 p.m. in the evening because I'm a bit daft. But anyway, as Holland says there, sweet dreams to my UK friends. Happy whatever time of day it is to the rest of you, Awkward Wave. And thank you, everybody, for joining me tonight and putting up with a rather dodgy internet connection. Hopefully, we'll get this sorted for next week. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But that is going to be it from me. And as I always say, stay you, stay true, stay authentic. And I will definitely see you next time. And yeah, next time is Tuesday at 7 p.m. UK time. Take care, everyone. Bye. There's an awkward way.